So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our 12 o'clock session. This is going to be with Mieko Pérez, who is an expert in pediatrics and cannabis. Mieko, I leave it to you.
Yes. Hello, I want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. My name is Mieko Pérez. I am an instructor with Green Book Academy, and today we're going to go over my curriculum on best practices for pediatrics. But before we go into really what my curriculum is about, I really want to talk about actually how my son and I started. And I have a presentation. Ricardo, can they see the presentation?
It's on.
Oh, it's perfect. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
My name is Mieko Pérez. I am a global expert on pediatrics, specializing in special needs. In 2009, my son was given 6 months to live, and I turned it into a journey that I can now share with you. As I sit on some boards and have received congressional recognition for my work with working with children on the spectrum, it's been an adventure. And as you can see, I continue to be a source in the cannabis community with regards to children and children on the autism spectrum. Here you can see where my son actually was one of the first children to be placed on medical cannabis, and also in 2009, when there wasn't really any education or guidelines or regulations. So we started very early in 2009. And as you can see, now I work globally on being an advocate for special needs families. I was actually one of a few families that actually was featured on Univision and Telemundo on best practices with children on the autism spectrum. Initially, my reason for looking to cannabis had to do with a medical journal that I had stumbled on in 2009, and it was written by Dr. Bernard Rimblin, who is the father of the Autism Society of America. And so the document that I was able to find was titled Medical Marijuana, a Valuable Treatment for Autism. My first job, which is a legal secretary, and I've been for the last 20 years, actually helped me find this information. At the time, my son was 9 years old, and he had a lot of the typical symptoms. He was a danger to himself. We had an emergency plan. As you can see, his face was very sunk. He was 42 pounds and 9 years old. I remember reaching out to a doctor in Northern California, and this is Joey's first medical marijuana license. And so this journey also was with his medical team. And so which is really important. The medical team allowed for me to be able to really look at this particular treatment option as a treatment option that would be able to help me with my family. And initially, it was just to have him gain weight because he was very, very, his weight was very low. And we have gone on this just tremendous journey helping families being one of the first families to actually talk about this treatment option. And everything I learned from my son, Joey. And so we went on, and in 2011, he was actually diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy after we had been all over the world, it seems, you know, from Israel to Colombia to, I mean, we were on this platform. And in 2011, he was given the diagnosis terminal. At that time, I felt like I had a child who I had two diagnoses, and neither one of them had a cure. And so as we continued to speak at conferences, as we continued to empower more families with our story, Joey passed away in 2018, leaving me with a job to continue to help families, as well as helping medical professionals. And so Joey received congressional recognition, you know, for his participation in this industry and also in his education. And all of this was possible because of the ability to get a medical marijuana license and the ability to have a medical team that actually was working with me. And everything Joey taught me is why I'm here today. So now my job is as an instructor working with other instructors. My job is to help families come up with realistic objectives. Being able to talk about optimal timing, to be able to help with information on products, to learn the difference between THC and CBD, and to know how to walk into a dispensary and actually be effective in getting help, as well as finding other consultants and experts in special needs and in cannabis. And here you will see Dr. Jaime Claudio from Puerto Rico, who I continue to work with as a team. As a healthcare ambassador, as well as an instructor, my job has just completely taken off. Not only in speaking at palliative conferences, but also working with cannabis labs and being a source, not only for families, but also for medical professionals. And this is the bridge. Now working with Green Book Academy, I'm actually able in my curriculum to be able to provide you with everything my son Joey and I have experienced in our journey, but also to bring those resources and techniques and to help parents and families and medical professionals make this treatment option as a team. And so as a team, you know, you're going to be able to be much more successful. And that's what this curriculum is about. The curriculum is about preparing families to be successful. So right now, if there are any questions from the participants, I would love to take questions.
Dice, hola Mieko, this is Mimi. Thank you for joining us. I know it's very early for you.
Yes.
So yes, I think it's important that we explain to our public the differences between administrating cannabis to kids
Mhm.
or to adults?
Sure,
What is
sure.
the main difference? And what, yes, I know the kids are your expertise, but let us know about adults as well.
So with adults, and I work with palliative care, which is, ages, 3 years, 6 years old to almost 52 years old. And so right now, as a healthcare ambassador, there's certain protocols right now that need to be followed. And one of them is actually knowing, what your state or country's guidelines and it to be able to obtain a medical marijuana recommendation. And so after that recommendation, then comes sitting down with your medical team to be able to find the most appropriate product for you. But it does take research, and it also allows for you to ask the many questions. For example, for whatever condition that you're treating. And so when I am speaking with other medical professionals as well as adults, I try to find products that are really in their best interest. And so sitting down with not only the medical team, but also the family in order to be able to whatever is really going on in the family, in which the type of product that you're using is equally important. And I try to have the entire family become a unit and join this. And so you have dosing, you have keeping charts. And so these are some of the very important things that will also help your medical team in making other decisions. And so learning about the different the different delivery methods, learning when it's the time to take it, the cannabis, whether it's morning, noon, or after or evening, being able to not only learn how to speak with the dispensary personnel, but also just being able to exchange and make this more of a family decision, although they're an adult. And so also with learning how to identify dispensaries that are legal dispensaries as well. And so that's a big one. That is a big one. We black market, which is obviously cannabis that is not in a legal dispensary, learning how to identify products as well, and being able to read cannabis analytics reports. And so this is why Green Book is going to be able to really come in and provide that information and provide a bridge in which you're able to have a healthy conversation, whether it's your loved one, whether it's your child on the spectrum, whether it's your grandparent or an adult that's going through pain management. And so I think the most important part of this is now we're actually able to give you this information to be able to empower you as a consumer. So is there another question? So also in Green Book, uh-oh, I lost you guys. Also, I would like to talk about just being able to have the conversation with your medical team, even about in any of your concerns, being able to go to your country's websites, to be able to understand, if you can actually grow cannabis in your home, and also safety. Safety is a big one right now. We definitely want to be able to consume the cannabis safely, but we also want to talk about some of the safety concerns, as well as how to store your cannabis in your home, especially if you have other children, or you have or you're giving this to your child. So these are all of the questions that you will be able to answer when taking my course. And
Go ahead.
sure, no, go ahead.
No, I had a question. So considering the stigma around cannabis,
Yeah.
as a parent, how do I approach my doctor for my child?
Okay. Every condition is different. Every situation is very different. I also had to find out a way to have this conversation with my son's medical team. My son was terminal, so at the time, it was a very easy conversation. But now, when families contact me, that conversation typically, and 2023 is now a normal conversation that we're having with our medical professionals. But when you have worked with a medical team and your doctor for so long, and you have exhausted all other treatment options, I believe now physicians and medical professionals are open to this particular treatment option, especially if you have a child who's dealing with, not eating. You have a child that is, a danger to themselves. And so the conversation in 2010, when I received my medical marijuana license for my son, that was difficult. But now in 2023, as you're in this room and you're taking these courses, the conversation has actually become a little less stressful on parents. And I can tell you, as a parent, and who consults with other parents, you can hear it in our voice, when we have decided to choose cannabis. And so I think that's where medical professionals are kind of meeting us in the middle and saying, okay. So what was thought to be a stigma in 2009 with my son and I is no longer a stigma. I believe doctors are seeing the value in this particular treatment option, and they're on the front line to help families. They're on the front lines to agree with us and say, hey, I think this is the most appropriate way to go. And then that's when you reach out to Green Book Academy and say, how do I do this? Give me the information I need to not only inform my doctor, but to inform everyone in our home. And I also encourage that as well, especially when you're dealing with a child, this is a family treatment option, and everyone in the home should know that this is what we have decided on. So it's no longer to answer your question, it's no longer a tough conversation for families, simply because cannabis has been so, we're seeing a high success rate in using cannabis, not only for children, but adults on the spectrum, as well as geriatrics. And so I think the conversation on cannabis has gotten a whole lot easier than when my son and I went forward in 2009. So
that's awesome. My other question is, what if my physician or my child's physician doesn't know anything about cannabis and is not against it, but doesn't know anything? Will the course that I take with you, that will basically teach me to help to teach the physician?
so it's you know you're gonna okay. So
What a question.
it is, but reliable resources. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to join Green Book Academy. Most of the time when I am consulting with other families, I realized that there was not a course that was able to really understand the dynamics in our homes. There are a lot of courses, but there's not one like Green Book Academy. So yes, we will be able to prepare you to not only have that conversation, but also bring reliable and credible resources that you will learn and that you'll be able to take to your physician. And then maybe your physician would like to participate or would like to request information or even speak to one of the instructors. We are seeing an influx of physicians, or we're seeing a lot of physicians that are actually wanting to have this information. So Green Book Academy is actually providing that bridge for you and that medical professional to do it together in order to help your loved one. And so, yes, you will be able to speak with your medical team and provide them information, as well as get the information that you need to be successful in this treatment option.
Great answer. Thank you.
Thank you. I can tell you, as a mother of a special needs child and also a mother who experienced a great loss, one of the reasons why I'm here is because of my son, Joey. At the time, I didn't realize in 2009 that I would be in 2023 without him. But when he left me with a job, and that job is to continue to not only protect families, but also be able to be a solid resource. And that's where I commend Green Book Academy for reaching out to me, because there are so many parents like me. And so, all over the world, there's a child like Joey and a mother like myself and a family that needs help and needs that guidance. And so guidance is very key. And I believe, once you take my curriculum, and then you may find out that you may one day want to be an advocate. You may want to be a healthcare advocate to help other families after you have gone through your own journey. And so I would have never imagined that I would be an instructor, but I do know Joey left me with this job to be able to help families and to find resources, to help them learn how to read lab reports, to be able to empower themselves so they can empower the rest of their community. And so that's really what my curriculum is about. It's about empowering families, whether you have a child or you have a grandparent that's in the home that needs cannabis to sleep, the conditions to sleep, to be a better, be better to receive information, to help with aggression behavior, to help with picky eaters. And our children are such picky eaters, but also our grandparents in our home are also picky eaters. And so dealing with pain ailments. And so this is where Green Book definitely comes in to be able to answer those questions. I look forward to being able to provide those resources to families all over the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that, Mieko. At this point, are there any more questions from anyone? If not, then Mimi, is there anything else you would like to add to this? No?
No.
Okay.
Ricardo, muchas
Mhm.
gracias. Creo que estoy conectado por dos lados. ¿Me escuchan
Sí,
bien?
sí, te escuchamos.
Okay, pues Mieko, thank you so much for your time and such an important work that you've been doing. Where we love having you and hope to have you back soon.
Yes, thank you so much. And I would like to thank the participants who have shown, who are here with us. I believe Green Book Academy will be able to help families all over the world with this curriculum. And I look forward to meeting them all, or look forward to having them in my curriculum, in my classroom. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. When is the next class? When is the first class, I should say?
Wow, the first class, we're looking at February right now.
Okay.
I hope to have a definitive date, and a date in which I will continue to look forward and seeing everyone. So thank you
Awesome.
again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody look out for those emails and those notices for Mieko's class. Thank you so much, Mieko.